Well, Carley, thank you so much for joining us on JUSTSalvos Live.
Thanks, Jen.
I'm wondering if you can just start, I know we've all heard a lot about fair trade, but just give us a brief overview of what fair trade is.
Sure. Well, fair trade is an independent ethical certification system with a people-first approach to trade. It's ultimately aiming to help farmers and producers and workers in developing countries get a better price for their product, but it also supports them by offering a premium on top of that price. It also helps consumers understand and recognise those products that have been certified and see them on the supermarket shelves and understand that they're the right choices to make for their purchasing decisions.
And Carley, why do we need fair trade?
Well, poverty remains widespread amongst tea, coffee, cocoa, rice, sugar producers throughout the world. And these people face an uncertain future, specifically in relation to factors like volatile market prices. And so fair trade actually offers them a system or a way out of this poverty situation.
So, I can't help but think that there's some evil slave master, hitting small children. Is this what it is? Like, who is to blame for the poor working conditions? Who's to blame for slavery?
Sure. Well, look, slavery and poor working conditions are actually symptoms of endemic poverty. So the fair trade system offers to try and find a way out of that poverty environment, and this is for country farmers, producers, and their families as well. So in relation to these specific issues, fair trade standards on which we seek to base our certification system actually address these things. For one thing, we look at improving working conditions, and these are based on the ILO conventions. And we also seek to ensure that there's no enforced labour of any type at all, including child labour.
It's so important.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. So can you tell us a bit about where we're at? What have we achieved so far?
We've really achieved some amazing things. It's been an incredible journey, the fair trade journey, and at this point in time there are about more than 6 million people that have been positively impacted by the fair trade system, and this is in 58 developing countries throughout the world, Asia, Africa, the Caribbean, Oceania as well. And I guess through the uniqueness of the system, they get to benefit. And this includes not only the better price for their product, but also the premium or the additional funds on top of that price that they get paid for their product. Farmers can then use this money to invest in social, environmental and developmental projects that they choose. They're not told what to invest in, it's what's best for their communities and their businesses.
So they're making a joint consensus as to what they should use their profits for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Almost as a community decision together.
Correct. It's a democratic process, so yeah, they determine what's best for them.
Yeah, wow, I would like that for our country. That's great.
It would be.
Tell me, I want to know a little bit about what it looks like on the ground for an individual farmer. What does fair trade mean for the farmer?
Well, look, fair trade's really different and it's very unique, and I guess what it does is it aims to bring small-scale farmers in developing countries into larger cooperative groups so that they can work together and benefit from the system. They can then actually, as we said, determine how the money is spent from the price of their product, but then also the additional funds from the premium. And it means that they're empowered, so it gives them the chance to feel like they can take ownership of what they're doing and how they control their future.
Because I imagine that would be the hardest thing, to be so poor that really your only choice is to send your child out to work, rather than being able to send them to school. That actually, it's not like you're a mean parent, you really just don't have that choice to be able to give them the best life because you're trapped in poverty.
Yeah, certainly the situations in which these people live in and the environments in which they live in are very different to ours. So the fair trade system does really look to address these issues and the issues of poor working conditions and poverty, as we've discussed. But really, I'll give you a really good example of coffee for farmers and producers in Papua New Guinea, the HOAC group, so the Highland Organic Agricultural Cooperative. So this is a large group of small farmers that have come together and they work under the fair trade system. And they decided that how they would invest the funds and the premium from their product was to put it into local transport infrastructure. And what this meant is that all of a sudden they could have better access to trade, they could sell more of their product, and as well as doing that, they also got the opportunity to gain access to education facilities and medical facilities as well. So really the impact there has been so widespread, and not only has it helped their business, but it has also helped their quality of life too.
Yeah, it sounds like a really amazing process of empowerment for those farmers to really have the opportunity to lift themselves out of poverty.
That's right.
But can you tell us a bit about some of the criticisms that might have been raised about fair trade and how you might be responding to those?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, there's lots of discussion about what is sustainable these days, and is that local, is that organic, or is that fair trade? And we're glad to see so many consumers actually caring about their purchasing decisions, and they're conscious that they need to make an ethical purchasing choice. So people worry that fair trade isn't environmentally friendly, but we'd like to educate people on the broader scope of fair trade and how it is actually making a difference for the world's environmental issues. Certainly, most fair trade products that you can buy here aren't produced in large quantities in Australia. So coffee, tea, chocolate, etc. So while those things need to be imported, we're trying to make sure that they're imported in the most ethical way possible. Secondary to that is that while transport is a large and a major contributor to carbon emissions, it's certainly not the only contributing factor as well. And what we know is that fair trade supports small-scale farmers, and their carbon emissions are much less than those large-scale production facilities, mainly due to the fact that small-scale producers actually, they don't use mechanised machinery and equipment, and they also don't use synthetic fertilisers, pesticides and chemicals on their crops. So this is a really positive thing, and we also recognise that there's a correlation between environmental sustainability and the quality of life for producers.
Yeah.
So therefore, fair trade is really committed to ensuring that there's a best of both worlds, I guess, in this situation.
Look, the average consumer out there, I mean, we want to ask you what they can do. I'm assuming that most people now know that part of Cadbury has gone fair trade, or Cadbury has gone fair trade, which I was personally really excited about, to be able to eat Cadbury stuff again.
But feel good about it at the same time.
Feel good about it, absolutely. But aside from just eating lots of chocolate, what can the average Joe do in the community? What can we do?
I really believe that making the swap to fair trade product along the way, along your purchasing journey, every time you're in the supermarket, just look for the label. That's really the crucial thing. By seeing the label and seeing it printed on packaging, you'll understand that that particular product has gone through the certification system and it's met internationally recognised standards. So that's really the easiest way. Now, you can do this in a variety of ways. There's certainly opportunity to buy from local retailers and health foods and organic shops. There's cafes that sell fair trade coffee. There's your major supermarkets as well. We're seeing increasingly large numbers of fair trade product on the shelves, and we encourage people to buy more of this product, and therefore the supermarkets will stock more of it as well if the demand increases. The other really exciting way that we think products getting out into the marketplace is through office procurement companies. So they're actually offering, as part of their suite of products, fair trade certified coffee, tea, hot chocolate. And so this is a really easy way for businesses to be involved, and for people within businesses to encourage their purchasing departments to actually purchase this product for the broader group. The other really big thing we've got coming up is some exciting marketing campaigns too around how to make the swap. So.
That's great. So we want not only individual consumers to make the swap, but we want big companies to be starting to make the swap. Yeah. Cafes, your local cafe, if they're not, providing you coffee that's fair trade, I'm sure that you can give them some stuff. We can send it to you if you need it, and you can get them to make the switch to fair trade coffee. Yeah. Carley, thank you. Go on.
Just one more thing, Jen. I just wanted to talk about Fair Trade Fortnight,
Absolutely.
Which is our largest marketing campaign, and we gear up all year round to offer a 2-week exciting fair trade fortnight whereby we're encouraging this year people to actually show off their swap. So last year we talked about making the swap, and this year we're growing on that, and we're asking consumers to be involved by purchasing a fair trade product over the period of time from the 7th of May to the 22nd of May, getting online to our fair trade website, www.fairtrade.com.au, and actually taking a photo of themselves with the product, showing it off, uploading it, and being part of the overall fair trade movement.
It's great. So you'll find out more about Fair Trade Fortnight on our Facebook and also on our website, and I believe there's a clip coming up on it right now. Well, I'm going to be getting on board with Fair Trade Fortnight, Viv. I'm sure you are as well. Carley, thank you so much for joining us today and enlightening us on this amazing movement of fair trade. Remembering, it's not a brand, it's a movement, it's a way of consuming, it's a way of helping our world be a fairer and a more just place. Thank you so much.
Thank you.